What is up, everyone? It's Thomas with Real Broker here in St. Augustine, coming at you live every Wednesday at 8 p.m., going over the market stats, the news you need to know about if you think about buying, selling, or investing here in the local area. And we're also doing a Q&A. So if you're watching it live, if you're watching the replay, make sure you throw the comments down in the questions in the comments below, and yeah, just engage with me a little bit here. Once again, I am starting, doing this across all platforms. So, well, across Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So if you are watching on one of those platforms, just let me know that you're here and which platform you're watching from. Just helps me out, make sure that everything is going the way that it should. So let's go ahead and let's hop right into it, guys. I know one of the most important things that we talk about here is going to be the market stats, and I've got some cool things coming up with just looking at more data with Alex Stewart with the Market Distillery, and really starting to break down some more data. And I'm not going to do that today, but what I will do is I will pull up the analytics for this past month, and we'll just take a quick look, and just the things that we always want to keep an eye on, really, that gauge what's going on in the market. So I'm going to share my screen here. So let me make some adjustments here. So this is really all of northeastern Florida. So you're talking about Duval County, Nassau County, St. Johns County. I'll just show you all the counties, matter of fact. Baker, Bradford, Clay, and Putnam, all of them, right? So this is the average sale price amongst all of those counties combined. $375,000, which is up almost 2%, 1.4% from last month, and then up 7.6% from this time last year. So if we take a look, we're just going to look at sales price, and we're going to look at days on market. So days on market, I think, is a really good measure of how hot the market is, how quickly are homes selling, right? And that's a simple thing we can all look at and understand. So we see now we're at 34 days on market. Last month we were at 32, and it's actually gone down from this time last year, which, I think as we get more comfortable at 7% interest rates, and this is kind of the new norm, right? I think that's just kind of showing that our market is strong. People are still relocating here. Jacksonville got rated the #2 job market in the United States. Florida just got rated the #1 state for the economy and education, and #9 state overall across all of them. So let's just go ahead and hone in on St. Johns County, though. Share my screen here. St. Johns County. So St. Johns County, not too much different than the other surrounding counties here. We're at 39 days on market, which is up from 33, so a 20% increase month over month, which looks huge when it's just a couple of days. And then from this time last year, we're actually down 41 days on market, so down 5% from this time last year. Now, obviously, you can see here, these are the low lows. I don't know if you guys remember these days, but 18 days on market, 15 days on market. I mean, those were crazy times for sure. Things were just flying off the shelves. Not a fun time, in my opinion, to be a real estate agent. So if we look at the average sale price, or sorry, not average, but the median sale price, you have median sale price in April 2024 of $539,990, which is up 10% from last month. And as you can see, as we get into these, like the Februarys, the Aprils, we're always going to see a little dip in pricing because of our market being very seasonal, and then it starts to spike back up, which is what you see here, right? So January this year, February, March, and then going into April. As we head into the summer months, I imagine we'll see that price keep going up. Maybe not the same clip of 10% month over month, but a significant bit. Up 8% from the same time last year. $500,000 was the price last year in April. So I think those are like the two most important metrics to really pay attention to if you are considering buying in the market, and I think that shows the strength of the market here, considering that interest rates are 7%. They have been 7% for over a year now. We haven't really seen any relief in that. A lot of real estate agents, including myself, thought that we might see interest rates start going down more than they have so far. Now the newest projections are saying, like, hey, by the end of this year, they're going to start heading downwards. But it seems that everyone's just full of it and doesn't really know what they're talking about. So I just try to provide the transparent data here But a lot of it has to do with the Fed and inflation, right? And as long as we were battling inflation, I don't think we're going to see much relief when it comes down to mortgage interest rates. So I don't know what you guys think. Let me know if you think that's probably the best indicator that we have right now, or if there's something else that I'm missing. But we'll go on to the next news story here, guys. And like I say every week, I'm going to try and make this one a quick one. Had a long week, long weekend, put 3 homes under contract this weekend. Super busy. Didn't really get to relax at all. But that's a good thing. I can't complain too much. So let's move on to the next thing here and keep you guys informed. But if you have any questions, fire them off. I'll get to them. We'll make it real quick. But I'm going to go to the next news story. Okay, so let me share my screen here. So like I said, normally we like to go like national, then state, and then local, right? So this is something that you guys know I've been talking about. Real estate agents are fleeing the field. Is that good for home buyers? So this all has to do with the lawsuit for the National Association of Realtors, and now essentially saying like, hey, we're not going to be just saying the seller is going to be paying your commission. We're removing that from the MLS. That won't be something anymore, whereas everyone is almost guaranteed to get paid from the transaction if you were working with a buyer. Essentially now what the new rules are saying is that, hey, we want to remove buyer agent compensation from the MLS. We want agents to have their buyer pay them directly, essentially. And it's just, in my opinion, it's not the best thing for the consumer. But what this is going on to say is that agents are leaving the business, right? And some of these, if you read this article, some are saying 80% of the agents are going to leave the business, 50%, 30%. They're all over the place with it. But there 100% will be agents that leave the business, which is a good thing. I know this may seem like doom and gloom type of stuff, but I'm trying to find the statistic here. So as of mid-April, the National Association of Realtors had 1.5 million agents registered. That's down from 100,000 from 2022. Now, that has nothing to do with the lawsuit, in my opinion. That has everything to do with how tough the market has been. In 2022, we had a really hot market until the middle of the year. Then interest rates started creeping up very aggressively when the Fed started raising rates very aggressively. And then it kind of put a halt on transactions for everyone, right? And then couple that with not having that much inventory, prices have still continued to go up. Transactions are way down, and most agents are, according to this, 49% of agents are doing less than 2 deals a year. And that makes a lot of sense to me because most agents suck. They do. And there's a lot of part-time agents that what happened is they jump in feet first. They think they're going to get money really quick because it's an easy job. And what happens is they burn through all of their savings. They decide, you know what, I'm going to get a job to supplement my income. And they work full-time somewhere and do part-time real estate, hoping to get enough, learn enough, grow enough to be able to get out of their job, right? At least that's my understanding. And listen, that's not something I'm not trying to talk shit on anyone. That's something that, at a certain point I wanted to do. And that, I was like, oh man, this is really tough. I'm going to have to get another job. And there were nights where I Ubered. There were nights where I worked, as a bartender and a server. That's just what I had to do in order to do what I really wanted to do, which is be a real estate agent. So, and those were flexible, which allowed me to do that. But either way, it's saying that the National Association of Realtors, the membership has started to go down. But that also makes sense because us as realtors are so disgruntled with how they've handled this situation that there's actually talk of real estate agents or another group essentially that's going to be representing us aside from the National Association of Realtors because they did such a dog shit job on negotiating this lawsuit and what happens. So the interesting thing, and I'm going to show you this next article, is that there's some MLSs that aren't complying, or at least one that I know of. And we're going to take a look at that right now. So, in the state of Washington, the Washington Real Estate Service will not join the National Antitrust Settlement. So, pretty much what the National Association of Realtors agreed to a $418 million settlement that'll make key changes to agent commission practices in many areas of the country and shield the National Trade Group from certain future legal actions. I don't know what the heck they have on the National Association of Realtors. It's really interesting to me because compensation was disclosed. One, it was on Zillow for a long time now, but it was also in the MLS, and then it was also disclosed on paper when it comes down to the closing. So compensation has always been disclosed. Sellers signed a contract saying, yes, I will pay X amount of percentage in commission. So it's very interesting where this whole thing's going. But in March, NAR agreed to prohibit seller agents from displaying their offer of commission on any NAR-affiliated multiple listing service. Agents could still offer commissions by phone or other means. So what's the purpose of this? So essentially what this the Washington MLS argued that removing commissions offers from home listings hurts transparency and could lead to deceptive practices. And I mean, it does seem like it's weird. Like, why would we had transparency and now we're rolling it back slightly? So they've essentially come out and said, like, hey, we're not doing this. We're gonna keep doing what we're doing. We're gonna, everyone has to sign paperwork saying, like, hey, this is the compensation, and they've been doing this since 2019 already. So, and their commission rates haven't changed. So I think this is like a lot of like scary stuff to the real estate industry, but like the best agents are not going to change what they're doing. And there's not like a world where someone who is a huge listing agent, they're going to go into a property, they're going to talk to a seller, and they're like, hey, you know what? I heard about this lawsuit. I don't want to pay a buyer's agent. If they're a bad listing agent, or if they're a bad agent in general, if they're working part-time and working at Applebee's, they're going to say, yeah, you know what, we'll list your home for 3%. We don't have to pay a buyer's agent. But that's not in the best interest of that person. And like all these people that run massive businesses that list homes and sell homes, they're not just going to change things up. And it's like, if you want to compete and there's other people that are offering an agent commission, well, isn't that going to hurt your chances of selling? So it's very interesting. I don't want to beat a dead horse unless you guys want me to beat this dead horse, but I'll keep going. But I don't. I know I do it. I've talked about it a good bit, but I won't do it anymore. But if you guys have any questions about this, your view on it, I'd like to know what your guys' view on it. We got 17 people here watching, so if you guys have any counter views to what I'm saying here, I'd love to hear it, and we can get a little bit of a banter going back and forth here. Looks like I got some comments. My mistake. Looks like we got on Instagram Live. Boom, it's working. The Shaddocks, I think interest rates remain for a while. Some experts say well into 2026. Yeah, and that goes along with like the higher for longer, right? That's what we've been saying, or that's what a lot of the professionals have been saying. But I really think it has to do with like inflation and our economy, right? I mean, I don't know. Now we're entering this thing, stagflation. I feel like they make up all these terms. So we'll see what happens with that, but I'm cautiously optimistic, right? I have an interest rate of 7%, so hey, if it goes down to 5.5%, I'll refinance and be happy, right? Let's see, we got John here. No way 80% of agents get out. The ones get out, the ones are staying in. And maybe they will, but they'll be working full time somewhere else because you can't sustain. I mean, unless you're selling one $10 million property, like it's just not, you're not making enough money there. And you have so many, like, I mean, just to run my business, I mean, I'm spending like $6,000-$7,000 a month. So like that's a lot of money. I don't know. And most people don't have to do that. I obviously have a lot of different expenses for why I have to do that, but it's not cheap to be able to do that. Even to run like a listing. I feel that both Maya and myself run a modern real estate team, right? So we're not doing print advertising. Everything we're doing is focused on social, and it's focused on getting as many eyes on the property as possible. We just had a listing go under contract, and we looked at like the numbers of how much we've spent, and I stand to make like probably around $10,000 on that, but we've probably spent already around $3,000 in marketing for that property, which, so if you just do the math, I spent $10,000, or I get paid $10,000 minus $3,000, minus what I got to pay to my brokerage, minus what I got to pay to my transaction coordinator, probably around like $5,000-$6,000 then, and I got to pay Uncle Sam. So it's like there's a lot of splitting of the pie here. So very interesting. But either way, go on to the next thing. Have you seen the new county park that is being built on 16 near Passetti Road? Yeah, I think I covered that before. I think that's called Mill Creek. I know exactly where you're talking about. It's kind of an odd location right there on 16, to be honest. But I think it's called Mill Creek Park. I think I covered it a little bit ago. But I do also have the news story you sent me, CB. I'll pull that up here shortly. Apollo back, the coolest name. How will the buyer know if the seller is paying the buyer's agent commission and making an offer? Exactly, right? So that is something that, as of right now, the MLS has the buyer's agent commission on there. So all this is really doing is pushing the buyer agent commission off of the MLS. It's an agreement between the seller and the listing agent of what they're going to pay. Because at the end of the day, when you sell your house, so if I were to sell my house and you were to represent me, you'd come over and you say, hey Tom, I'm going to list your house and we're going to list it for a total commission of 6%. So that's what you pay in total. And it could be 6%, it could be 5%. It's not a set number, right? I've listed homes at 4.5%. I've listed homes at 6%. It's not a set number. So that 6% is then paid to your brokerage, right? If you're the listing agent, paying it to your brokerage, and then the brokerage pays the listing agent and the buyer's agent, right? So in today's world, or in the new world that's coming, essentially what would change is, like, if I were a buyer's agent representing you, I would then call the listing agent and say, hey, you guys offering agent commission? They say, yeah, we're offering 2.5%. All right, cool. So it's just adding another layer of work, and it's like, oh, are you offering commission at all? No, we're not. Okay, well then we go to see the property and you love it. Well, then all I'm going to do is write an offer with my commission as part of the offer, right? So it's like, hey, if the property is listed at 500, you want to offer 490 on it. It's like, hey, we're offering 490 plus you're paying me my 3% commission. Like that's how we'd write it. Is there a world in a scenario where like the 3% could come out of the buyer's side? 100%, but in reality it already did, right? Because if the seller is paying the commissions, the buyer's bringing the money, well, the commissions don't get paid unless the buyer brings the money. So it was already paid by, all commissions were technically already paid by the buyer because they're bringing the money. The seller just takes it out of their closing costs. So it's all nonsensical. I'm telling you, it's like the fact that NAR could not argue this in court baffles me. I was just talking to an agent today, Janie Coffey. She's a massive agent here. She does a lot of luxury homes here in the area. I was talking to her today. We had a conversation for like an hour, and she was like, I feel like, and this is what I said too, I was like, I feel I'm confident enough I could go in front of a jury, I can go in front of people and just explain this to where it's like, hey, this is not in the consumer's best interest. So, yes. Essentially, all they're doing is removing an easy step of it being offered on the MLS. Now we're going to have to call and verify, and if not, the next step is then, okay, we're writing offers and we're putting my commission as part of that as the buyer's agent. Like, hey, this is our offer. Oh, and by the way, you're paying this as well. And then the third stop of that is all like the GSEs, the VA. They've all come out now and said that buyers can roll their agent's commission into their loan amount. And it's silly because it already was. It already was. Because yes, it comes out of the seller's closing costs. Correct. All commissions do. It comes out of the seller's net. But the seller would not be able to pay those closing costs if the buyer didn't bring the money. So it's so nonsensical. I hate it. It's so dumb. This whole thing's dumb. With the new rules, how will the buyer know if the seller is paying the buyer's agent fees when the buyer is making? With the new rules, how will the buyer know if the seller is paying the buyer's agent fee when the buyer is making an offer? So that's just a conversation between me, like the agents, essentially. So it's not. That's why this MLS, the Washington MLS, is like, hey, this is going to lead to deceptive practices. It's because it's like before it was transparent, and now it's like, hey, it's not really transparent. You got to kind of call and figure out what they're doing. Like before, and on the MLS in today's world, the new rules haven't started yet. They start in August. Or July. They start in July. You could offer $1 for compensation. There's other MLSs where you could offer $0 for compensation for a buyer's agent. We've already had it. So it's like, this whole thing is so nonsensical. It's not even funny. Many stay-at-home mom agents are going to stay. Yeah, it does work if you have a flexible schedule, but here's also the other thing, John. I think most people, at least I hope, and in a world of TikTok realtors and OnlyFans realtors I compete against, I think the people that do the most business actually provide a good bit of value, right? And I'm not saying that a stay-at-home mom can't do that, but it makes it increasingly difficult to help people if you're not fully in the game. Like my lender partner, his name's Kane. I brought him on my show here before. He just got a sweet job with Ford, right? And we had a conversation. I was like, listen, man, like I know you want to do mortgages on the side, but like for me, it's not working, right? Because I need to have someone that's in the game, fully in the game, full contact sport. I don't need someone that's working another job and they're gonna call me when they can. For me that doesn't work. So we'll see what happens. All right, back to Apollo. Then after these next two guys, you guys can keep dropping the comments. I'm gonna head to the next news story. But I saw an announcement that Toll Brothers will build a 55+ community in Park Group community, Everrange. I feel like you're on it. I feel like this is the third time you brought up Everrange, and you know it, Apollo. I mean, I haven't heard that yet. I'll look into it. I'll write it down here. But that doesn't surprise me. They just opened up a new, it's not the Park Group. No, it's not the Park Group, but they just opened Newbrook in Silverleaf, which is all Toll Brothers community. Beautiful. But Toll Brothers coming down here, and especially because it's from like the Northeast, a lot of Northeastern people love Toll Brothers. Like my wife's parents love Toll Brothers. Like my dogs are going nuts. But either way, that doesn't surprise me. That's going to be a big project. So, and where it's at, just outside of Nocatee, and really that pocket of, you have E-Town, then you have Nocatee. That's like the southeast corner of Jacksonville, the northeast corner of St. Johns County. That area is just so hot because it's just convenient to everything. Convenient to downtown St. Augustine, convenient to Jacksonville, convenient to the beaches, Jack's Beach. It's just a sweet place to live. Let me write this down here quick so I can look into it for you, Apollo. But let's see. What a pain in the ass that NAR created. 100%, John. I'm with you. But you know what? And this is the truth. I honestly don't think it's business as usual for me. Especially for a lot of the people that are on here. I feel that I provide a good bit of value. A lot of people relocate to this area. They need representation regardless. So I don't think anything on my end is going to change. And also I do a heck of a lot more than 2 deals a year. So blessed that in 2022, 2023, agents left the business. Most agents' business went down. I can't say that. My business has grown. I've been working hard, and shit's been going good. So, on to the next news story, guys. Let's not keep doing this, but I'll talk about this all day long. You guys will get me riled up. So, all right. So let's go on to this. We're going to cover this quickly, right? Like I said, now it's 20 minutes in. I've got 3-4 more news stories to do this every freaking week. All right. So, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signs 9 more bills into law. Here's what each does. So we'll just touch on it. HOA rules and covenants. Essentially what this is saying is that by October 1st, everything has to be a digital or physical copy. Digital copy being the biggest part there. Most HOAs do that now, and they have to provide that to all of their members going forward. Economic development eliminates several requirements related to the Regional Rural Development Grants Program. Under HB 141, removes requirements for grants funds received by regional development organization to be matched each year by non-state resources, removes the requirement for local governments and private businesses to make financial or in-kind commitments, removes the requirement for Florida Department of Commerce to consider the demonstrated need of the applicant for assistance when approving participants for the program. This program is meant to help rural communities use their resources to attract new businesses into their areas. So to me, this sounds like, hey, we need more affordable housing here in Florida. We need to do something with those rural areas. That's what that sounds like to me. Continuing contracts. House Bill 149 increases the limit for continuing contracts covered by the Consultants Competitive Negotiation Act. It requires states and local governments to procure services from professionals like architects and engineers on the basis of qualifications rather than just price. At the end of the day, we know price is going to rule that. Hurricane protection for HOAs improves hurricane protections for homeowners associations. HOAs must adopt hurricane protection specifications for each structure governed by the HOA. These specifications could include factors like the color and style of hurricane protection products. Don't know how the color and style of hurricane protection products helps protect you from a hurricane, but thank God we have House Bill 293. HVAC system regulations. This is probably the best one from what I've read here. Deals with construction regulations involving HVAC systems. Essentially, the law prohibits an HVAC system warranty from being conditioned on product registration. So in today's world, you buy a new house, you have a new AC, you have to register the HVAC to be able to get the warranty going. In the new world, the full length of such warranty coverage would begin on the date a contractor installed the system. Makes more sense. Why the heck would you have to call for a brand new system? It should just be like, hey, this is the warranty provided, it's brand new. Low voltage fences says that rules that essentially you need to have a non-electric fence around your low voltage fence, and it's got to be 2 feet higher than your regular fence. Public work amends the definition of public works project under state law. Current rules prohibit the state or political subdivisions that contract a public works project using state funds from imposing certain requirements on contractors for these projects. Okay, all right, we're almost done here. Protection from financial exploitation. Essentially, this is just like, hey, people over 65 years old are getting scammed left and right. I just saw something about a lady buying fake stamps, so they're putting in a bill somehow that's going to help. They're also going to be putting in rural emergency hospitals because they need them in those areas. So, a whole bunch of new laws going in. There's also 10 more that need to be covered, and apparently those will be covered in the coming weeks. But, man, I need some water after that. Just word vomited there. Excuse me. So, what do you guys think about that? All those House bills. The only one that I mean, it's funny. I feel like government is just like so reactionary to things, right? Like, it's simple, like simple, the HVAC thing, like so simple. Like, why is it not just like, hey, you buy HVAC, it's under warranty for 5 years? Like it. I guess that's a company thing, but like, why do we need a law saying that? It's just insanity to me. But either way. Let's go on to the next news story here, guys. I'm going to get all the questions here. So if you have any questions about what I'm covering here, fire them off below. So talked about this. There's, this is where the Costco is, where the Buc-ee's is. Costco's right here. Fields Auto Group is going right here. And they're going to be putting a Mercedes dealership and a Porsche dealership right by that Costco, that Buc-ee's, that World Commerce Center. There's also a Home Depot going in over there, a Bass Pro Shop going in there too. So just wanted to touch on that. I got one more here for you, but I think that's, you know what, St. Johns County is a luxury market these days, right? So Porsche and Mercedes definitely needed in this area. Porsche, sorry for you Porsche people. But this is an interesting one. Construction starts on long-awaited Sebastian Inland Harbor Project in St. Augustine. So, if you guys are familiar, I'm going to see if I can have a good picture of it here. So right here, this is the San Sebastian River. Right here is a hotel, which was just built. King Street is right here. The San Sebastian Winery is like right over here. This has just been undeveloped land, but they got a Marriott hotel being put in there. They're a construction of 60+ slips for a marina. So that's going to be built. So 139 rooms, $20 million. But initially, it was supposed to include condos, retail space, restaurants, and a parking garage. No one knows what's going on. It started over 20 years ago, but it's finally breaking ground. Okay, that's a better... There we go. Okay, this doesn't work. Okay. So yeah, give you a good idea. It's literally just been sitting vacant, nothing going on. This would be a sweet place for a river walk too. I wish they would just extend it around the entire island down there. But they're putting an AC hotel. Wow, that's nice. That's really nice actually. So I didn't see that part earlier, but yeah, I think that's a good move for that area. It's already downtown St. Augustine's already a wash guy. I know a lot of locals will be upset with me for saying that, but like, it's for the tourists, you know. Like downtown St. Augustine, it's cool to go visit once in a while, but anymore, It's pretty much for, it's not for the locals here. It's for the tourists It's for the tourists that are going to spend $1,000 down there every day. Not for us that are going to go have dinner, and go home. But let's see here. Let's see. Apollo firing off the questions. What do you think of every range so far we have? What do you think of every range so far? I kind of touched on it before. I mean, I just think it's in a great location. I think it's going to sell really well. Including with Everrange, they're going to create a road that goes through Nocatee, goes through the back of Wells Creek, continues in alignment with Everrange, and then goes in through E-Town. So you're not even going to have to go to like US 1. You can just drive through those communities if you're looking for a back road. Price point wise, it's probably going to be pretty high comparatively to most people here, because it's just in a super desirable area. Are you interested in Everrange, Apollo? Are you thinking about buying there? Do you think Everrange pricing would be better than Seven Pines? Seven Pines is so expensive right now. Yeah, Seven Pines is like the only, it's really one of the only, there's a handful of new construction communities in Duval County that are like Seven Pines, that are like a Nocatee and E-Town. They're pretty much all in St. Johns County because we have the available land to do it. But I agree, I think Seven Pines is expensive. I probably wouldn't buy there. I think it'll probably be slightly cheaper just based on its location. Let's see here, Brian. Brian's back. What's up, Brian? Any news on retail center going in across from Shearwater once the road is widened? Across from Shearwater. I was just down there the other day. I didn't see any development. They're widening the road, that's for sure. Retail center across from Shearwater. I'm not familiar with that. I'll write that down, see if I can find anything on it. But last time I was there was nothing down there. Retail center. Yeah, I'll check it out. But I don't believe I know of anything going across from Shearwater, and until they get that road expanded, they really can't. The traffic there is terrible. It's terrible. If you got to go into Shearwater, I literally have to tell people, I'm like, hey, listen, they're expanding it, they're making improvements, but for now, it sucks. And let's talk tacos. Let's go. I can do that. All right, let's talk. Have you tried Osprey Tacos and Tacos My Blessing? Awesome. The food and brewery scene in St. John's continues to impress. Yeah, Osprey Tacos is great. Tacos My Blessing is going to win for me all day long. Just authentic Mexican tacos. We go probably once every 2 weeks. They have Taco Tuesday there. I think it's on Taco Tuesday. I think it's 3 for $10, whereas like regularly it's 3 for $12. But they have these are my favorite tacos of all time. Never had better tacos than this. Campechano, where it's steak and chorizo in a taco. So I get 2 campechano, 1 chicken, and then you can hang out at the bar there one night. So to bring up the tacos here, one night we had a friend in town, and one wanted pizza, one wanted tacos. So what we did is we went to Muggsy's. My wife and his wife went over to Tacos My Blessing, grabbed tacos for us, and we grabbed a pizza at Real Peel. And then we had some beer, smorgasbord of food. We had pizza, tacos, beers. Great time, great time. So yeah, that's a good way to end it. But yeah, our food scene here, what's some of your favorite restaurants, guys? If you're watching this, what are some of your favorite restaurants in town to give some shine to? I'm gonna drop a couple here, okay? Now, for lunch, okay, lunch, if you haven't been to Black Molly was open before on the other side of 312, right in like the Publix, right on 312, but the building was getting a little run down. The new Black Molly is very, very good. The same menu, just much cleaner, better environment. I was talking to the kitchen manager there. He's a buddy of mine, goes to the gym I go to. And he was like, dude, the kitchen is like 3 times the size of what it is. So like they just always have done a really good job at Black Molly. They've been like rated to have like the best ribeye in St. Augustine, and like their prices, they're a little bit more expensive now. That's because they got a brand new building. They're still on 312. They're just on Anastasia Island now, right by Antigua, which is like a townhome or condo, townhome, single family community. Very good. That's one of my favorite places to go. My grandma loves it, so we go to lunch there pretty often. Second place for lunch, Sporks, also on Anastasia Island. If you know where Amici's is, Sporks is my buddy owns it, and maybe I'm a little biased in that respect. I've known him since I was a kid here in St. Augustine. We grew up off Pope Road, which is right down the street. So it's off West. It's sandwiched between West Pope Road, US 1, and 312. So it's in this little shopping center by Amici's. They probably have the best lunch in town. That's my number one go-to lunch spot. If I have to meet with a client or something, we're going to Sporks. And everyone I take there like, man, I didn't know this was here. This is awesome. And it really is. Their prices are good, their portion size is good, and the food is really good. They have a chicken pesto sandwich that is out of this world. So good. Shredded chicken, shredded Parmesan on top, pesto, lettuce, tomato, and then I get a side of the bacon mac and cheese. Can't go wrong. Third place, Marina Munch. You go to Funkadelic, you can get some really good, everything at Funkadelic is good. It's so different. But I always get the lump crab grilled cheese, which is amazing, and then I get some fries on the side. Now, if you're looking for a good Philly cheesesteak, I got a couple for you, okay? There is a place downtown. It's just hard to get to. The last time I went in there, they really do give you like a Philly experience. Like, at least the customer service wasn't. Whoa! What the heck? Sorry about that. My computer started going off. They really do give you a good Philly experience. You know, the customer service isn't like super friendly like everything around here. The inside has a whole bunch of games, but the cheesesteak to me was just like, it was good. You know, it was a typical cheesesteak. But if you go to Uptown Scratch Kitchen, it's expensive, but they have a great cheesesteak. Very good. Like onion confit, I think they have on there. Then there's another place. It's in there's a food truck center off of 312 and A1A. Man, I'm going to mess up the name of it. It's called Colorado. It's a Colorado Filipino mix. Let me see if I can find it. And I'll share it here with you. Cucina, Colorado. And their cheesesteak is my favorite. It's so freaking good. Better than Philly cheesesteaks that I've had in Philly. It is fantastic. So yeah, let's see. We got some suggestion. Okay, let's see. Baba said send over some tacos. Hey, you guys meet me down there one day. We can grab some tacos. I don't think they do takeout. They don't do delivery. So, not that I know of. Maybe on Uber Eats or whatever if you want to pay $45 to have it shipped out to Volano Beach. Brian said ice plant for cocktail and apps. Of course, the fish camp if you can get in, and Simone's wood fired. And thanks to your one video, Valley Smoke, love that place. All solid places. Fish camp, we actually have our holiday party there last year, and man, they knocked out the park. You know, we only had like, I think it was for up to 50 people or something. We had like 40 people show up, and man, we just had, it's such a good place because there's parking, right? Though sometimes you have to valet, but all their food there is good, and it's part of like an umbrella of other fish camps in the area. So they have like Julington Creek Fish Tank. Julington Creek Fish Camp, which that's like the main place to go. That's in like, I guess, northwest St. Johns County, southwest Jacksonville. Very good. Simone's Wood Fired, that is another place. So she used to own the Press. The Press is another great restaurant on 16. So closer on the east side of 95 where you're talking about the west 95. But Simone's Wood Fired Grill, that is a solid place to go. But yeah, thank you, Brian, and Valley Smoke, you know, beautiful. Food's great, beautiful location. Love it. Let's see here. We got Apollo again. Oh, sorry. In Ponte Beach, Los Andes, Argentinian food. Try the lomo saltado, churrasco, or the chicken, lunch or dinner. Great value in desserts. Ooh, okay. Argentinian with a lomo, huh? I thought that was Peruvian. I love a good churrasco and a chimichurri. Can't lose with that combination. I'll have to try it. I like it. Yeah, the diversity of our food here has gone crazy. It's amazing. Black Molly, Sporks, Funkadelic, crab grilled cheese, Uptown Scratch Kitchen, and Cucina, Colorado. Do you know if there is a Walmart or Target going in around World Golf? Man, that'd be a fantastic place for one. It really would. I've seen a lot of complaints about the local Walmart here in based off US 1 here. It's been there since I was a kid, maybe probably several years before, but at least when I could remember. Yeah, they say creatures of Walmart when you go in there. That's for sure. It's not nice. It's not nice. Target going in around World Golf, that would be a fantastic spot for it. Me and my wife used to live right off of 16 and 95 where that old outlet, the indoor portion of the outlet mall was. They call it the outlets. It makes no sense, but it was the indoor portion. We said that. We were like, man, if they would just put a Target here, that would revitalize this whole mall because it'll give like an anchor store for other stores to kind of feed off of it. But they demolished it. So that would be a good ad for like World Golf Village. They're talking about what to do with. Actually, tonight they had a meeting on what to do with the World Golf Hall of Fame, like that whole section that the county bought for $5 million. I think Target would be perfect in there because you could make that exactly like a town center if you have the right stores. But I don't know, Dave. I don't know. I honestly, I thought about doing what I do here for commercial real estate. I feel like it'd be really, really applicable. A really good way to use video marketing. Let's see. The Shaddocks love fish camp. Oysters are terrific. Oh, you know what? Speaking of oysters too, have you been to Commanders? Commanders off A1A. They actually grow oysters, harvest oysters. I don't know what's the right word to use for it, but they're restoring. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. They're growing oysters. I don't know what to say. They're growing them in the Intercoastal, and they have some of the best oysters in town. I'm not a big oyster guy. I like Oyster Rockefeller, but that's one place to go if you like oysters. Commander's Shellfish Camp, which is south of 206 on A1A on Anastasia Island. Fantastic place to go. Let's see here. Apollo, let's go. Rustic 21 Bistro, best Brazilian food for dinner. Interesting. Yeah, me and my wife love Latin food, so we'll have to try that. Rustic 21. I have to give that a shot. Write that down. You guys are giving me some good recs here. Now, see, that's Jacksonville. I'm not a Jacksonville guy. Get me up there. It better be good. If I go up there, Apollo, it's not good. Nothing's going to happen, but I'll let you know the next time you get on my comments here. Mangoes. That's another great spot. And then right across from that, so you have Taco Shop right there. So talking about good tacos, the Mexican Taco Shop is definitely way more touristy than everything else. They were featured on the Food Network. But Taco Shop, the Mexican UFO, steak, pinto beans, the works, solid, so good. And then right across from that, by the Pit, you have the Pit Surf Shop. You have Stir It Up, which, like, if you're just looking for like a refreshing smoothie similar to Mangoes, that's a great place to go. But that's right off there on was it A Street, I think. Yeah, love it, guys. Paulo, best coffee shop, Bold Bean at Jack's Beach. Tried the iced Americano after watching this. I'm not going up to Jack's Beach to watch the sunrise, Apollo. Get out of here, man. That's too far. But the best coffee shop in town, hands down, is right down here on the street. Maracuya. He owns Llama, which is right here on A1A, Peruvian restaurant. You can't get a seat there. Like, if you were to look it up on the day of or the week of, you're not going to be able to find a seat for another week or so. It's pretty much always booked out. Everything's done on open table. But he's been named top 100 restaurants over there, Peruvian food. He's a Peruvian guy. His name's Marcel. Super cool guy. Does a really good job over there. It's like top 100 restaurants in the United States. He's won that a couple times over there. So check that out. But if you're going to talk about good coffee, you got to go to the coffee shop over here. Okay, Maracuya, cute little coffee shop right here in the West King district. It's my favorite place to go. I just got my coffee there this morning. It's good. It's very good. And he's local. He lives here in West Augustine, so I like that a lot. Okay, guys, I said I was going to do this real quick. 45 minutes later, we're still here. But Apollo, Dave, the Shaddocks, John, y'all are crushing it today. Brian, y'all crushed it. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you contributing. CB. Oh, you know what, CB? You sent me a news story. Let me cover this quick. I didn't get a chance to read this, but we'll do it together, guys, just because it's the end here. But funny enough, well, before I start this, so this isn't funny, actually. I don't know why I said that. Just whatever. Let me hide this. So last Thursday, and we have a group, if you guys want to join, Ancient City Alliance. It's essentially just a whole bunch of people that live here, business owners, locals. It's a group that me and my buddy started. Me and another guy, Josh, are running it. Essentially all it is just us trying to give back to the community. Last Thursday, we went and bought 30 sandwiches from Tropical Smoothie Cafe, handed them out to the homeless for 2 hours, you know? So it's out of our pockets, just like us, just like doing a good deed. So looking for more people to join. If you want to join, it's Ancient City Alliance on Facebook. It's a group. You can just join it. There's no restrictions or anything. You can post what you want. You have questions, or if you want to do something, you want to put something together, just for other people to kind of help out and chime in and trying to make like a local stop for that. So while we're talking about homelessness, but let's go back into this news story here, see how it ranks up. So anyone walking through downtown St. Augustine is likely to notice the homelessness issue locally. St. Johns County Homeless Coalition has seen a 40% increase in the past year, which is in line with the increase in population, which is insane. Rose to 466 in 2023 from 349 in 2022. So it's not a local problem. Let's see. You know, I might have to go back over this and read some of it, but essentially, it's, from what I'm seeing here, is that it's just expensive as hell to live anymore. So we're 110 in terms of average overall cost of living compared to the national level, which is 100. So that just means, like, hey, it's expensive to live here. it's the truth, you know? And it wasn't prior to 2019. It was very affordable, but things have just changed so quickly, and that's what it is, you know? It's a playground more or less for the rich, for baby boomers that have retired. People that are my age have a rough time at it. Probably most of the homeless that you see will probably be in their 30s or 40s. Just speculating here. At least that's who I gave out sandwiches to the other day. It's definitely unfortunate, but I will say this too. There are a lot of, like, the majority of the sandwiches we gave out was around St. Francis House. They do a lot of stuff for the homeless. They have a battered women's shelter there. Cool people working there for sure. The homeless, when we were just, I mean, I'm just grouping them in there, right? When we gave out sandwiches, all of them were super thankful. And we had a couple people that came and said, like, yeah, we're not from here, but like we ended up walking here, and everyone in this town has been super nice to us. Like, and I imagine there's been people who treat them like 100%. There's people that treat them like shit, but overwhelmingly, I imagine that there's a lot of people that are willing to lend a helping hand. And that being said, we walked all of St. George Street. We found 2 homeless people at like 10 a.m. on a Thursday. So I know a lot of them probably wait for peak tourist time, but to find 2 people on St. George Street was kind of odd to me, because typically you find like 10, maybe 15 on St. George Street. So we had to do some walking to give out those sandwiches. It was a good day. But either way, guys, all right, now I'm 50 minutes into this bad boy. Let's see, we got no more comments here. I won't leave anyone here. Okay, Bitey Cat's on here. Bitey Cat, shout out to you. Got here too late, about to replay. Awesome. And then John, thanks so much for your show. Congrats on your recent closings. Yeah, things are going good, John. Things are going good. I can't complain. So, guys, on that note, you are looking to buy, sell, or invest. My wife and I are here to help. We do a lot more than 2 transactions a year. We have, I think we have a pretty good system going. If you have any questions about anything that we've covered here today, whether it's the best tacos or the real estate lawsuit or how commissions are paid, or if you want to buy a house, make sure you reach out to us directly. You can leave me a comment here. You can, all my information's online. You can literally just find it. Shoot me a text, give me a call, email, whatever that is. Sometimes it does take me a little bit longer to get back to emails because I'm always on my phone, but we'll get to you. Either way, guys, appreciate you. Have a great night. Have a great Wednesday. I'll see you next week.